Okay, brought to you by Curious Brandland. Now, we're going to talk about what triggers a cell to divide. We want to incorporate, bring it into the cell cycle, all right? And talk about checkpoints and what's going to make something go from the G1 to the S and go ahead and go all the way through to mitosis. Then we'll compare it to later to what happens when cancer doesn't follow these rules. All right, so let's focus on this. Let's talk about the size of a cell. What's the optimal size? And I'm going to give you some pointers back to surface area, volume, ratio. So when we're done, we're going to copy down something, and then we're going to also write what limits the cell size and why. While I switch, I want you to think about diffusion. Think about what we have here. Surface area, volume. Associate the surface area of the cell membrane and the volume of the cytoplasm. When we say cytoplasm, we're talking about the organelles inside. All right? And think about supply and demand, like an economics term. So which one of these two is supply and demand? We say cell membrane as in supplying nutrients or getting rid of what? You take things in, you use it. What you don't use, you throw away. That's waste. Okay? So go back to this. What you may see here, these three circles, they're the same size. Visually, you may not see that way, but your nucleus, this is the optimal size, this is the optimal size, this is not. So think about diffusion, osmosis. Okay, something diffusing in, say that's a nutrient going in, right? If there's too much cytoplasm, the nutrients going in are not going to be dispersed to all the organelles that need it, and it's going to be a waste of space, and it's not going to use it. The reverse of that is waste products. Say this is a little vesicle. It's got some waste. You got to get rid of it. It's got to go out. It's got to go out. But if there's too much volume here, then it's going to poison the cell. So there is a limit to cell size. And what we're looking at is the surface area, volume, surface area of the cell membrane, and the volume of the cytoplasm. So what we're going to do is we're going to copy on this scenario and think about if it makes sense or not. So go ahead. We're going to copy this down. I'm going to pause while you guys are copying it, and then we'll come back. So let's look at what you copied down, which is this. And let's kind of break down the language here. When it says, so the surface area of the cell membrane, associate the surface area of the cell membrane. You know, if you have a balloon, and you blow air into it, the actual balloon part is your cell membrane. The volume that you're putting in, there's a limit on it. If you expand, what happens if you expand too much? Bam! It explodes. All right? You still fall for that. All right. But we don't want our cells to explode. No, we don't. So that's one thing that triggers the cell to divide is the volume of the cytoplasm. But also the needs of the cytoplasm. That's what we want you to be thinking about. That's what we have here. The needs of the cytoplasm, meaning, say it's an organelle like mitochondria that's doing cell respiration and it's getting glucose into the cytoplasm, then it's broken down, pyruvic acid, oxygen is available, it's got to go into the mitochondria. That's all what we mean when we say the needs or the demands of the cytoplasm. And it also increases in size. So now, look at your little period here. There's a little. So from when down to increases is a statement about a condition. Now, where it says now, that's the response. And what I like about this exercise is we're trying to say, hey, what controls cell size and what triggers them to divide, and then we're actually writing out how it actually goes into the cell cycle. All right? So look what I've underlined. And I'm gonna just stop the video here, but I want to point out one last thing. So we're going to write this, and one other note to write down is go back to this. When you're determining what limits the cell size, let's write this down. What controls cell size? The surface area and volume ratio. Let's write that down. What determines cell size is the surface area and volume ratio. The surface area of the cell membrane and the volume of the cytoplasm. All right, the surface area of the cell membrane and the volume of the cytoplasm. So let's go ahead. I'm going to put this up here and let you get the rest of that. So this kind of concludes our video. Look at what we've underlined. The now. The now means respond. It means, hey, we're going to go from G1 where we were. We're going to copy our DNA during S phase, and then the part that everyone forgets, we're going to make copies of those cell organelles. View it like this. We do copy DNA for mitosis. We copy organelles for cytokinesis. All right, there we go. Bye-bye, Curious Marine, man.